Hi everyone, this is Emily. Firstly, I want to just say thanks for everyone who watched the first video I did. It got a lovely response and I love that a few people said that it helped them out, and yeah, I was really pleased with the response. So on my Instagram I did a poll to say what you wanted to see in the next one, and the majority vote was a Q&A about my honest experience about the birth, about Naya, about anything to do with coming home or the hospital, etc. So yeah, that's what I'm doing today. I've got some questions here. I've written them on my notepad like a little geek, and I'm going to read them out for you now, and I'll answer them as honest as I can. So hopefully you like this one. First question, how did you find being pregnant? I really surprised myself from my pregnancy because I absolutely loved it. I loved having a bump, I loved watching her grow, and I didn't care that I was bigger, or I just really loved it. Apart from the fact that I was really sick for the first 14 weeks. It was horrendous. It was pretty much every day. I didn't want to eat, and I'm the biggest foodie there is, and it was just awful. Being in work was horrible, just running to the toilet every 5 seconds. And yeah, it wasn't a nice experience for the first 14 weeks. But then as soon as that stopped, it was after Christmas or New Year, I think. I just about managed to enjoy Christmas and my dinner and everything. And yeah, it was after then I felt so much better, and it was a magical experience. It was just lovely, like, and every time I got a kick, and the outfits I was wearing, I just felt like showing off my bump. It was lovely, and I do actually miss my bump now. So yeah, that was how I felt about being pregnant. It was lovely. I was quite lucky. Next question, did I have a birth plan? To be honest, I didn't. Obviously in your head you think how you want this perfect time, but obviously that doesn't happen, and mine didn't really like go as straightforward as I thought it would. But birth plan, I didn't. I wanted Carl to cut the umbilical cord, and that even went out the window. I don't think he did that. I wanted gas and air if it was offered. I wasn't too fussed on being so brave, if that sounds right. I didn't want to be like, oh, it's got to be all natural, it's got to work this way. I just wanted baby to be safe, and I wanted just to have a happy experience. I wanted a little playlist on the go, and that didn't even happen. I used my playlist loads during pregnancy, but I thought I'd be all chilled listening to music, trying a bit of hypnobirthing maybe, and just no, it didn't happen. So I didn't have a birth plan. That's just how it was. The next one, how was the birth? Obviously I could go into loads of detail about it, but I'll try and be brief. My waters broke at 3:30 in the morning. I thought I'd wet myself. It was great. Carl wanted to go back to sleep because he just thought I was being a bit dramatic. And then from then it literally rolled into contractions. I started to get a bit scared. And my mum came round at 4 o'clock in the morning, and it was just a bit of a mad rush to get to the hospital because I knew something was happening. Got to the hospital and my waters had broke, but I actually wasn't dilated at all, and the baby was breech. So it was a bit of a mad one to get a C-section and get her out safely. She was here by 11 o'clock. I was absolutely terrified, to be honest, like going in for the C-section. I think it just suddenly hit me that this was happening, like, because at first the nurses were like, oh, this could happen tomorrow, like this is early days, but then everything just seemed to happen so fast, and it was suddenly, no, you're getting a C-section and this is happening. And yeah, the only point where I was really emotional and upset was I thought Carl had to leave me, and but it wasn't. He just had to be in another room for a couple of minutes while I was getting the needle and everything, and rubbish at the right terms of everything. But basically when I was sat getting prepped, Carl couldn't be there, so I got a bit worked up, and I was holding everyone's hand like, oh god. But other than that, I have to say everything was straightforward, and the C-section itself is the most strange experience. Like, you can just feel all this tugging, and suddenly the baby's there, and I was like, that's my baby, that's actually just come from my stomach, and it felt amazing. And then yeah, she was perfect. Yeah, that was all the birth story. Did you feel supported? Family wise, absolutely. And Carl was just an absolute dream, to be fair. You know, he'll love me saying that. But yeah, he was great. And obviously the midwives and everything were amazing as well. My only downside, I would say, you don't get a connection with just one midwife. I just always thought you'd become besties with your midwife, and like you could ask her anything at any time of the day. I just felt a little bit like there was about 10 people that I could text, or 10 people to get in touch with, and I got a bit overwhelmed with who I was meant to get in touch with, or who was going to be there on the day. And I think I can't even remember now, to be honest. There was that many that came through the doors and helped me out, but in terms of when they did actually help me out, it was absolutely amazing. And the 4 days I was in hospital was really hard. I just wanted to get home, but even the staff there were absolutely brilliant. And there was a few days where I was frustrated with things, but I can't really complain. So yeah. What have you surprised yourself with since becoming a mummy? I think just in general being quite confident with things. I'm an anxious person. I thought I wouldn't even be able to leave the house with her, or I'd be on tenterhooks, like, oh, is she going to be okay? And obviously the first little trip in the pram, I was worried about everything, but actually I'm finding it nice to go out for walks. And I haven't gone off on my own somewhere really, but I've gone on walks. I've quite confident to potter around the house, and I thought I'd be like a wreck and needing it on me all the time, but now I think that is what surprised me really. How are you finding the lack of sleep? If you'd asked me a couple of weeks ago, I probably would have said, oh, what, sleep? Like, I'm absolutely fine. These last few weeks have been a bit harder. And do you know what? She's sleeping like 4 hours, and then two and a half. And then she's kind of getting into her own little routine. But it's more when you can't settle her and you don't know what's wrong, and it's putting her back down that's the problem. Like feeding her, changing her nappy, she's really settled, and then it's actually getting her back to sleep, which is the problem. And I've got a lot of back pain, and yeah, the tiredness was getting to me quite a bit, and it was getting into the routine of Carl needing to go to work and me needing to do the night feeds and not disturbing him as well. And then oh yeah, it all got a bit chaotic, but I think we're getting there now. She went 5 hours the other day, and I felt like I'd had the best sleep ever. So we're getting there. It's fine. Favorite thing about motherhood so far, it's just seeing her little milestones. Like she's starting to smile a little bit more now, even though she is a little grump. But she's starting to definitely recognise who me and Carl are, I think, and just she's starting to cuddle a little bit when she's feeding. She's like holding me. Yeah, it's just seeing her little milestones, and she's holding her head up a lot as well. I mean, she's done that since day one. We were baffled, like she was an early baby, and her head was just flying up on when we were lying her on her chest. And it's just seeing her grow every week and change, and yeah, it's just amazing. 3 words to describe the birth: overwhelming, scary, but magical. It just, yeah, magical. Did you have a boy's name picked out? Yeah, funnily enough, we had the boy's name picked first, and we've actually had it for years. Even before we were planning a baby, we've had this name in our head, but I'm not going to share it just in case we do end up having a boy another time. But yeah, we had the boy's name picked ages ago, so yeah, might use it one day. And last question is, how are you and Naya? Which is lovely. I'm fine. Like I'm absolutely fine. I'm just in a bit of a daze sometimes. I'm just going day by day and just yeah going with the flow. I'm recovering quite well now. I'm starting to do a little bit of yoga when I can, for the recovery of my C-section. But in terms of walking around and moving, I'm absolutely fine, and my mood's great, and yeah, I'm really happy with how things are at the moment. And Naya's great. I mean, she's having a few weeks of a growth spurt, I think, so she's being a bit grumpy and a bit whingy, but you've just got to take day by day, and she's a little babe. Ooh. This is is actually a little outfit that I picked up from Sainsbury's yesterday in the sale. The t-shirts were 3 for £4 and the leggings were the same. And everyone always asks about our little bows, and they're actually from a little place on Instagram, aren't they? Called Betty Brown's Boutique, I think they're called, and I just love the look. Yay! She's actually not whinging this morning, are you? Excuse the baby voice. We all do it, don't we? So yeah, there's Naya today. I don't know how that panned out. I'm really happy with your questions, and I'm glad that people seem to enjoy what I'm doing. That was really fun to do, so I am happy with that one. My next one I think I'm going to do, I've realised when I was tidying the other day, she's got absolutely loads of 0 to 3 clothes, which is the kind of the next one she'll be going in. I thought I'd do a bit of a show of all the clothes that we've got, their gifts, or they're ones that I've bought, or I've even used Vinted. I don't know if anyone's used that before, where it's like pre-loved clothes. I just thought I could go through a few of them and show you, and I mean they're all gorgeous, so I just love going through them all anyway. So that might be another little video coming up soon. So yeah, I'll catch you in the next one, and thank you again. See you soon.